Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome to the August 2025 Open Council meeting. This meeting is open to all members in good standing. This is a working council meeting, so we do have an agenda that we're following tonight. We welcome you guys to put questions or comments, chats, anything, and we'll address them during the open forum, which is at the end of the agenda. During the open forum, you're welcome to unmute, go on camera, or you can keep your camera off the whole time if you like, that's fine. But this is the time that we set aside for to talk to the members and answer questions or concerns, ideas, anything like that. And then following the meeting, we have an executive session where we close the part of the council meeting, and we stop the video recording. And the executive session is only used to discuss any items of sensitive nature, anything that could directly harm the success of the co-op, or that would infringe on rights or privacies of staff, members, or anything like that. We don't have any executive session tonight, but we just make this announcement at the beginning of every open council meeting. Um, so to start, I think we'll do introductions to start and then we'll go into membership numbers. We have a new council member here. So I'll give it to Alessandra to introduce yourself and then we can just popcorn it around and say our names and stuff because we also have a new member in here, Suzanne. Hi. So yeah, let's just do some quick intros and then we'll get into the agenda.
Hi, my name is Alessandra, and I'm new on the council. I've just been on a few weeks. I'm onboarding, but it's a really fun project to be a part of, and I'm excited to see the vision through and to work with the rest of the council members and community members.
So thanks, Alessandra. I'll go next. My name's Siobhan DuPont. I'm a staff. I've been with the co-op since late 2020. Um, and yeah, I'll pass it to Christina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Brown. I've been on the council since February. I'm born and raised in Kingston, left and lived in Chicago for a while, then moved back recently. So I'm getting acquainted. My family's ninth generation from here. I grew up in Midtown, so I'm excited to see what we can bring to Midtown, and just to reconnect with the community, like in my adult years, I would say. And my background, I have my master's in journalism, but I'm currently right now having my own marketing agency where I focus on influencer marketing. So I've been helping a lot with the marketing and like social media side of things as well as events. And I will pass it on to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Christina. My name is Elizabeth Guthrie. I'm have been with the council now for about 2 years, coming on 2 years. Was previously in the role of vice president. We're sort of waiting to establish the roles this time around. And my background is in education. I'm a professor at SUNY New Paltz, a PhD in English. So mostly working in outreach and development and education. And are we introducing anyone else?
No, I just wanted to introduce the council here. We'll move it on to the membership numbers. So right now, our membership stands at 1,297 members. Within that, there's 267 solidarity members. So we're just under 1,300, which is not bad. And moving on to our high level updates. Wait, I'm sorry. That number. Yeah, that's the right number. Um, moving on to high level updates. We have a workshop coming up next month in September. It's going to be a fire cider demo and tea workshop with Anne Marie. She's also a council member. She wasn't able to join tonight, but hopefully she'll be at the next meeting and she'll certainly be at this workshop. It's going to be at the South Pine Street City Farm on Friday, September 12th. I don't know if I already said the date. The time I think is to be determined. We're going to be putting out an email newsletter, and info on our website and social media with like the exact details and everything like that. But that's something that we're working on right now. So we're excited about that. And next up, well, does any council members want to chime in on that? Anything I might have left out about that?
Uh, the only thing I would add is just that it's part of a community farm day on Fridays that they have regularly. So people are welcome to kind of just drop in when they're free and able to, and if they arrive at the time of the demo, they can participate in that too.
Okay, that's awesome. And that's again at South Pine Street City Farm. Um, so I'll move us into the committee updates, and we'll sort of council members will go around and share them with our respective committees. So let me just pull that up so I can share my screen. Okay, 1 second. Clicking around, got all these tabs open. How do you share your screen on Zoom? I'm so used to Google Meet. Okay, I found it. All right, cool. Can you guys see that? See this tab open? It says finance report. Okay, cool. All right. So I created this report. This pretty much just gives an overview of the financials, right?
Go to file and go to share so it will go bigger. So you can share it bigger as like a presentation.
File share. Oh, here's like this.
Where you see where it says, yep, there you go.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So this is just a finance report to give an overview of the financial picture, some of the work that's been done, looking ahead, and a snapshot at our balances right now. So in our checking account, we have $125,361. In our member equity, which is basically like our savings, there's just over $100,000. And in our grant reserves, which is held by our fiscal sponsor, GWI, there's $260,000. So that adds up to about $485,000 total right now that we have to work with to cover operating expenses, any capital expenses that we might incur in the near future. So that's what we're working with right now. And recent expenses that we've incurred is we had to pay our accountants, Brazen and Huban, for their tax services. They helped us with tax prep. It was $1,054. So that check went out a couple weeks ago. They received it and it cleared. So that's all taken care of. And then recently, we created an expense form just so that we can keep our books super organized for our bookkeeper. So any purchases that are used with the co-op card, we have a proper form now for everything to be laid out, the receipt to go along with it. And again, it's just to make like the tax prep and everything easier when that time comes so that we know categories that things are being spent in, when expenses are happening, who's making them, all of that. We had sort of a process in the past, but it was more so like emailing it to our bookkeeper. And so this is just going to help keep it even more streamlined, and she can have access to it and see all the details that she needs, and it's just straightforward. Um, like I just mentioned, we did the tax prep accountant, so they got paid for that. A couple membership reimbursement fees went out to folks that filled out the form. Also, if you're watching this back and you're a member and you want to receive a reimbursement, you have to go on our website, and in the members corner tab, you click member equity refund, and it takes you to a form where you fill out your updated address, um, and all of that info. So if you're looking for that, that's where you can find it. And then also, the board recently reviewed the 2025 budget, so that we can prepare for 2026, which is part of our goals for this next reporting period. We're heading into Q4 very soon, so we'll need to have the 2026 budget squared away and all set. So we're working on that. And then We're also working on creating a pro forma, which is financial projections, so that we can approach lenders or landlords and actually take next steps on spaces, whether it's a rental or a purchase. So that's in the works as well. And yeah, that's it for the finance report. I'll pass it to, it looks like, Christina, you're up next for the Marcom.
So for marketing communications, we didn't have any expenses from the last time. Right now, we're focusing on a redesign process for our website, so it will be bilingual, both English and Spanish. And then we're also going to improve the mobile experience so that it can focus more on member engagement. We're averaging around 100 profile views per week on Instagram, with an average of 6,000 views per week. And about 60% of that is coming from people who are currently following us. And then our registered staff and council members are going to attend the up and coming workshop based, and they're going to do a focus on, sorry, I got confused. We're going to do a staff and council member to attend up and coming workshop. So Siobhan, can you speak more to that? I guess,
Yeah, I was just about
that's why I was
to, I'm
confused.
sorry.
I didn't put that in there. So
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I know
I'm
you guys are
sorry.
going, but you can speak more to it. And you're
Yeah. Yeah, so for work done for this period, myself and Alessandra registered to attend Up and Coming. It's the only conference, it's a national conference for startup and established food co-ops. And it's happening on September 11th through the 13th. So it's a multi-day workshop. And a they have so many workshops that are happening right now, but the ones that I'm going to be attending are focused on site feasibility and like business sustainability and finances. And then there's also a workshop that is about understanding and dismantling racism in food co-op organizing that Alessandra and I are also going to be attending. Um, so yeah, so that was part of the registration fees, which you'll see in the next slide, the next two slides as part of our governance update. But yeah, we're really well, I'm really excited. I'm super excited to go to this because, like I said, there's so many workshops that are going to be really pertinent to our work going forward, especially in this next phase of like site feasibility, business sustainability, and that development. So we'll be taking notes and making reports for the different workshops that we attend and bringing them back to the board to just share our recommendations, our takeaways, and really implement it into the development of our building. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We're also gonna have the opportunity to learn from co-ops that are established. We're gonna be taking a tour. I don't remember the name of the co-op in that area, but we're gonna get like a really thorough tour and understanding of their history. So it's really important for us to learn from co-ops that have, tried and failed and then succeeded. And so yeah, it's a really good opportunity. So you'll see some pictures and like highlights from that next time when we come back from there. But that's up and coming. And um oh, sorry, Christine, I'll just touch on it because I see for the goals and reporting that I'm also going to be talking on a panel at one of the workshops. So yeah, I'll make sure that we get some content from there to share back. And I'll give it back to you, Christina. Thank you.
great. Thank you. And then for next reporting period, we'll also have updates on our website redesign, hopefully have some stuff to show. And then we have been getting different products sent to us to test out to see if they would be good to be in the store. So far we've gotten products from Live Well Nutrition and Symphony, I think that's how you say it. But we're gonna hopefully be getting more products and more brands that we'll be able to test out and then see if it's something that we want to put on the shelves.
Awesome. Thank you. And this is education outreach and development. I'll give it to you, Elizabeth.
Okay, thank you for that, Christina and Siobhan. So for education outreach and development, or as we like to call it, OED or EOD, for those who aren't dyslexic. Um, the summary of committee work since last report. So this summer has been another summer of workshops and programming. We had the Let's Eat workshop at South Pine Street City Farm with Diana Seiler on July 24th. And we'll just be continuing, you'll see in the next frame that we'll be continuing with the next workshop in September. We approved the proposal for Anne Marie Tedeschi's workshop, which is actually in September, not August, so I apologize for that. And it's going to be, as was mentioned previously, it's going to be a garden tea stand and fire cider demo. And that just means that Anne Marie will be there demonstrating how to make fire cider and making tea from the flowers and herbs in the garden with whoever comes through that community gardening day, which is the standard for the South Pine Street garden on Fridays from 3 to 5. And it's to be determined what time she starts that demo. So as was mentioned, that will be announced. And then we're continuing to develop strategies for membership and outreach, including tabling, sending out surveys, and basically consolidating and synthesizing the information from our working groups last summer and working to implement them. Our last Nourish and Flourish dinner, this isn't on this list, was designed to be a working group workshop. And we'd like to continue in that vein so that our events are geared toward opening the store. And then in goals and projects for next reporting period, we just want to get into our strategic planning for outreach to engage and diversify membership. That's one of our priorities. Just to centralize Midtown if possible in our location for the store and our engagement with that community and that location. We want to begin recruiting for, as mentioned, the working groups in skills areas toward opening the store. So keep your eye out for those types of announcements. If you're able to participate, that would be wonderful. We are also going to be continuing to develop partnerships to strengthen community engagement and the store workforce. So working to partner with, as has been previously done, the High Falls Food Co-op, hoping to start conversations with the Chop Shop as soon as we get into more product development and just looking at local businesses and organizations in the field of grocery stores and co-ops. So that's basically it. Also committee expenses this period. We had Diana Seiler's workshop, so we gave her the fee of $250, which is our standard fee for a workshop. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I don't know, Christina, if you want to go over this slide or if we can split it up. I'm happy to do
Yeah,
whatever.
we can split it up so you don't have to talk.
Okay. Okay, cool. So
You want to go or?
yeah, I'll do the summary and I'll do the first box, then you could do the next one. The goals and projects. Okay. So yeah, so in our governance meeting since the last reporting period, like I mentioned before, or no, I probably didn't mention this, but we're wrapping up onboarding for our new council members, Alessandra, Katrina, and Anne Marie, who you guys didn't meet tonight, but will at the next one. And identifying new roles and like areas of strength. So like Alessandra's a realtor, so she's obviously really key for this new stage that we're in with building search. Katrina has background in vendor relations and like procurement and farming, and Anne Marie's an herbalist and does lots of community events. So just understanding everybody's strengths and what they bring to the table and how we can best utilize them and have everybody shine in their respective areas and together. So we've been working on that. And also updating our bylaws and our council and staff handbooks. It's just always good to have like a refresh, make sure that they're accurate and reflective of, what they should be, just making sure that they're up to standard. So we're working on that. That's a bit of a process. Bylaws are long, um, handbooks are long, and so this is kind of ongoing, but it's something that we've been discussing in our governance meetings. And then also, we've identified two locations that we want to vet. One of them was the Fat Cat Deli, which is at 585 Broadway. It's on the corner of Broadway and Cornell Street, and it was the former Dicings back in the day. Then it switched over to the Fat Cat Deli, but it's now currently for sale. So we were checking out that space and looking into the monthly expenses for there. It's it has like a ground level like retail area. It also has an apartment or two upstairs. Um, it's centrally located. It's actually like a perfect location. So we're going through and everybody's sharing their pros and cons. We have like a spreadsheet for different potential locations, and we're going through and listing like all of the pros and cons. So that was one of them. The other one is actually right across the street. It's 9 Cornell Street. And I don't remember what it was. I think it was like a factory or something. But we're looking at the cost of that and like the pros and cons. So those are the next two. I think at our last meeting we were talking about CCE pop-up shop, and we actually got word from CCE this week that they are gonna keep it as a pop-up rental for their own programming and for other businesses, so they're not really looking for a long-term tenant anymore. So that kind of takes that space as a potential like long-term, takes that off the plate for us, but that's okay. They're still open to partnering and they do great work there. So, um, you know, it, we understand and respect their decision and their needs, and that's okay. That just means that we'll keep looking for something that's also suitable for our needs and what we're trying to do. And then lastly, um, staff, that's me, attended last week or the week before. I went to a workshop through Colluminate. They do a lot of co-op support and development. I think they're a co-op themselves. They're like a cooperative consulting firm, and they specialize in helping co-ops. So they did a workshop. It was a 2-day workshop called Getting Your Staffing Plan Right, and I went to it. It was really, really useful. The facilitator's name was Jeannie Wells. She's actually going to be at Up and Coming. I'm going to connect with her. But I took like really copious notes, and I'm putting together a deck to share with the council, like the takeaways and findings and recommendations for us as we move into building search, as we move into like staffing, building out staff, and a plan for our new building. So that's coming up. And that's it for the summary of committee work. I'll give it to you, Christina, to do the goals and projects.
So for next reporting period, some of the things that we're going to be focusing on is doing a walkthrough of some of the store locations. I think Fat Cat Deli, Alessandra was working on as of like today or yesterday, she said. So we just have to figure out if we're going to go this week or next. Announcing new council member roles, figuring out where we're going to be all sitting at and what we're all going to be doing. It's been a long time coming, so that's ongoing for us, but by next reporting period, hopefully we'll be able to announce that. And then we're focused on our strategic planning for 2025, the remainder of the year going into 2026. Doing a staffing plan workshop where we'll have recommendations from the council, and then we're going to have updates from the up and coming conference, key takeaways, and in terms of expenses for up and coming, we spent $830, and then that included, I think, Siobhan, a $500.
Yes, that include well, no, that doesn't, that's before the reimbursement. So we got a scholarship for up and coming. So really it's $330 for the registration. Um, I forgot to include that there. Thank you for that, Christina. And then the Getting Your Staffing Plan workshop, the 2-day one, was $299, which is kind of pricey, but gonna be presenting it with the group so that hopefully we can all benefit from it and take it with us as we move forward in the development. But yes, we did get a scholarship for up and coming, so that's exciting. And that is the last slide for our reporting. So I'm gonna stop my share. And go back to the right tab. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. And yeah, that's what we have on the agenda, I think, unless any council members want to bring anything forward. This is the section for our open forum. But before we go there, is there anything that you guys want to touch on or ask or anything like that before we move on to open forum? Okay, awesome. So this is the open forum section of the meeting for members or community members, anybody. If you want to ask questions, it could be in the chat. You can feel free to unmute and come on camera if you want to. You can stay off camera, that's also fine, but this is your space to connect, ask questions, share ideas, feedback, anything like that. And I do just want to shout out Suzanne once more. You don't have to unmute or mic if you don't want to, but she did join recently, so welcome and thank you so much for coming to the open council meeting. That's exactly what these are for us to meet our members and put name to face. And we've emailed back and forth a couple of times, so it's really nice to meet you and thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here. So happy that this food co-op is happening. I was just curious about how far away you all think we are from like opening up the food co-op. And I know you showed some of the expenses, but like how much capital has it taken to kind of get to it, or will it take to get to a point of opening?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think timeline is something that's always a little tricky to like pin down exactly. I think our goal, I don't want to speak for the whole council, but I think um as we move forward with building search and like down payments, or even we've discussed doing a lease first, which we're not opposed to, getting our foot in the door, keeping our expenses a little bit lower. I want to say within 12 months, I think if we really like put our heads down and focus on the building and vendor and like that whole build out, then 12 months I think is doable. Um, so yeah, that's what I would say. As far as how much capital, again, that varies like if we're gonna purchase or if we're gonna lease. Um, so if we could find somewhere to lease, then it would be significantly less. If we're gonna buy outright, then we have to put a significant, like we're gonna have to tap into our grant reserves, our member equity, which is okay because that's what it's there for, but it's gonna cost a lot more. And I think in the past, a lot of money was spent on schematic designs for buildings and just developing the building in a totally different way, but with working with less capital, which is like the situation we're in now, we gonna have to be more resourceful and a little more strategic with how and what we spend on. So it probably won't be a co-op with all of the bells and whistles that were promised in the past, but that's okay because a lot of co-ops start with humble beginnings, and so it's really about sticking to the mission, making sure that the co-op is accessible, affordable, and that the stuff on the shelves is quality and reflects what our members and community wants. So I guess the answer, and I hate this answer because I'm a student and professors give this all the time, is like it depends, but it does depend on really those two scenarios. And I'm actually working with a guy from FCI, which stands for Food Co-op Initiative, and they do a lot of food co-op support. That's like what they specialize in. So he's working with me to develop our projections, our pro forma, so that we can have an understanding of like a store of X amount of square feet is going to cost this much and is going to generate this much revenue, just to get a clearer picture on those things. And that's going to help inform us on, okay, what space can we actually afford? What, that kind of narrows our options down. So that's a really important piece, and going to be really key in this next building phase. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, or if that sheds any kind of insight, but hopefully it does. I guess the answer is it depends, but like I said, I think if we really narrow our focus on those things, which means we'll have to slow down on events and things like that, like we've been doing in the past, and that's okay because it's going to help us move forward, in the area that our members really want, which is to see the doors open. So yeah, so I'd say 12 solid months. We can at least secure a location and be closer in that area, closer to opening doors, if not open.
That's really cool. I know it can take up to a decade to, open doors, so it's exciting. I mean, I'm on the tail end of it, so I don't have to wait too long, but that's really cool. And it's exciting that you all are going to Up and Coming conference. My coworker's going to be there too, and I heard it's really amazing. So excited to hear what you learn.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing their name or where
Sure.
they're from?
Yeah, Lauren McAllister, they're from Indiana.
Okay.
They are on the board of the Blooming Foods Co-op in Bloomington, Indiana.
Okay.
And happy to connect you too. Like, they're awesome people. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love that. I would
Yeah.
love that. Alessandra and I can like introduce ourselves, say hi,
Awesome.
shout you out. So that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Um, I see an iPhone on here. I'm not sure who it is, but you're welcome to put anything in the chat or unmute. But yeah, it was so nice to meet you, Suzanne. Thanks again.
Nice to meet you all too.
All right. Well, I guess if that's it for questions or comments or anything like that, we'll go ahead and end the meeting here. And you can always send an email to council@kingstonfoodcoop.com, our personal emails are also on the site. But if you want to reach us individually, um, but yeah, thank you guys so much. And it was again great to meet you, Suzanne. Hope to see you again soon and connect with your colleagues at Up and Coming. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording too.